Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
Go. Where's my sound? How about that? You can't hear me. I said great stuff to start the show. I promise you it was fantastic. And you've missed all of it. Oh, the tragedy. The tragedy that you missed all of it. My computer, I wasn't even muted, see, is the thing here. My computer reassigned something to the wrong microphone as I plugged and unplugged some things. Oh, it's a tragedy, which is kind of very weird since I've already done a show from this exact same place after I did that earlier today. But, bah! I blame Mason. It's Mason's fault. Fire Red, fire Fran, fire everybody. Everybody's fault but me. Starting over. Should we just do that? Should we literally start over? Chef Dog. Yeah, let's watch this. We're gonna start the show over. Take two. Oh, that didn't work. Hang on. Wait a second. We got to make this official. Hang on. Here we go. Take two.
Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
It's like it never even happened. It's a magical thing here as Syracuse blows out Binghamton to open officially the regular season 85-47. That thing that happened before, I don't know what you're talking about. That's enough out of you. That's enough out of you all in the chat. But glad to have you in here for our post-game coverage. Season opener, we will be right here after every Orange basketball game all season long. And link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join in as per usual. We got that going on right now. We'll get you Red's post-game press conference sooner than later. I imagine it'll be a rather brief tour of the locker room for Red tonight before heading in to deal with this. So we'll check that out here in due time as well. But this is something that came to me mid-second half. Like, Red's first couple of years here, Syracuse won their games to start the season. What's up, Jen? Syracuse won their games, but last year was like, oh, they barely hung on to beat Lemoyne. They barely hung on to beat Colgate. They went like 98 overtimes against Youngstown State. And yeah, there's net rankings and all this other stuff, and blowouts matter more than they should, and blah, 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 blah. Syracuse was incapable of blowing anybody out the last few years. The fact that Syracuse blew out anybody at all in the opener actually matters. I know in years past, these games are ho-hummers. You don't think about it, and you kind of move on to the more important games later on. The last few years, like, these are the games you're hanging on, and they're tight late, and sideline out of bounds plays with 30 seconds left matter. Thank goodness that was not the case today. It was a bit of a, little sluggish start on offense. The defense was kind of cranked up the whole night, which I'm sure will make Red very happy the way he goes about things. What's up, Poppy, as well? Lou Albano, yeah. But this is one where Syracuse had an overmatched opponent, and they overmatched him. Syracuse hasn't been able to overmatch anybody in a long, long time. Now, like, Houston's in a few weeks, Kansas in a few weeks. Those are a whole different birds. But the fact that Syracuse was capable of at least blowing out anybody is significant. Doesn't mean they're going to make the tournament. Doesn't mean Red's saving his job. It doesn't mean anything like that. But it is significant that Syracuse was actually capable of doing something like this. and blowing anybody at all out. And they did it, to your point, Ryan, without being able to shoot. Like, they were terrible from three. 4 for 21. It was a atrocious effort from three. It kept the game, I don't want to say close, because Binghamton could never get their offense going early in the game. But Syracuse could have been up 30 at halftime if they'd hit just a few threes here. But they came out and blew the doors off somebody, and we haven't seen that really in a long time. Syracuse has not done this to anybody. And yeah, I get it. They're Binghamton, but I don't care. Syracuse hasn't done this to anybody in a long time. So I am chalking that up as a very positive sign for the Orange, that they're able to actually blow out something. Blow out anybody. Heck, you made a few threes in this game. You had 100. And yes, Super Cat, this is exactly, and I've been saying this for a while here as we await the start of Red's post-game press conference. What's up, Rita? That let's go back to the second. You are supposed to blow out Binghamton, LA Orange, but they actually did. They're supposed to blow out Lemoyne last year, and they did not. They won by 2 or 4 or whatever it was. How many close games have there been with Colgate over the recent years? And I know Colgate's good and all that, but like, it's good to see a game that was supposed to be a blowout actually, for a change, be a blowout. Pardon me. Still working over the back like that. It's like the last hour of a cold. It just doesn't want to go away. But we'll see what Red has to say about this one. The link is pinned top of the chat if anybody would like to join vis-a-vis a video call, or if you don't want to be on video, that's okay also. You can also hit some buttons and turn your camera off or whatever and do that. But the link's right there. You hit a button, it's easy enough, and we'll get you on the show, and we'll get you to Red's post-game press conference, I would presume, sooner than later. Oh yeah, we worked that cough button, Super Cat. We worked it nice and good. Yeah, the athletes, Dan, to that point, the athletes are different. This looks, for the first time in a long time, and I get the zones no more and whatever, it looks like a Syracuse basketball team. There are long, rangy, bouncy guys. William Kyle, like, he's up here somewhere. I don't know where he's up there somewhere. He is just floating. Devo was just giddy to see that. Like, Suare can jump. Donnie Freeman can fly. Sadiq White, I think, did some really special stuff out there on defense today, even though he didn't have an overwhelming game. Then, yeah, to your point, JJ goes down. I mean, it's less than 4 minutes in. I don't know if it was an ankle, a calf, a hammy. At first, you thought it was cramps. Clearly, something more than that. Maybe Red will have some kind of update here in his post-game presser once it gets going. But, well, that's the benefit, right, of having Carmelo Anthony's kid to pop right back in the game and, be ready to go. Like, oh, JJ's out. Well, here's Carmelo Anthony's son. What did Cayenne end up with? 15 points, smoothly acquired, 3 assists, no turnovers. Was the backup kind of ball handler in many ways for Nate George, who I thought was fantastic in the ball game today. Again, it's Binghamton, but you can tell, like, Cayenne, he's not dead, but that dude is oozing talent. He's got every move in the book. His bag is deep. He's got all that stuff. But Dan, to your point, and we'll get to our player of the game later, my early lean is Nate George. Yeah, Oregon Cuse, I agree. My early lean is Nate George. Ooh, we have a podium sighting. We are getting closer to Adrian Autry taking the podium here. So we will get that to you sooner than later here with Red's post-game press conference here. But yeah, there are athletes, Paul, on the court. There are actual athletes that look like they should be on the court for Syracuse basketball. And they took it to the end of the game. There was actual athletes on the court that looked like they belonged, right, for Syracuse basketball. And last year, especially last year, that wasn't the case. It wasn't the case last year, basically up and down the roster. It was the case today, And look at last year, what happened when JJ got hurt. Like, the team wasn't good to begin with. When JJ missed December, they imploded upon themselves. Today, they're like, well, that stinks. Here's Cayenne Anthony. Yeah, here's Cayenne Anthony. I think that worked out a little bit better than, like, here's Jake Juan Carlos. Yeah, is Pat calling in tonight? I don't know, LA Orange. We'll have to wait and see. I think Pat knows this is going on. You never know with Pat. Usually you don't have to look far to find Pat, but we'll see about all that. But yeah, this is something where I'm encouraged. This is after 2 exhibition games that kind of left you lacking a little bit. To see him go out and play for real and be able to take care of business in the way they did tonight, I was encouraged as much as one can be encouraged in a game that you weren't getting a lot of pushbacks. But it was an encouraging, I'd say encouraging outing, effort, all of that tonight from the Orange. I think you got to like what you saw tonight. From Syracuse. It's obviously a blowout. It's Binghamton, Delaware State's next. I imagine, hopefully, we'll see more of the same on Saturday, right? Like, if you see more of the same on Saturday, now when you start thinking about Houston and Kansas and Tennessee and those games out there, not that you're like, oh, they are going to win them. You at least go into that, like, not feeling hopeless about anything, right? That's the thoughts anyway. We're waiting for Red. That is a podium. There is nobody there to speak at it right now. Yes, CJC. It is like the birds flying all about the bird feeder. Where is Red? He will be with us shortly. Realistically, like, what's Red going to say today? He's going to be very happy. He's going to be happy with the defensive effort. I guarantee you that's the first thing he's going to mention, and then we'll find out if we get any kind of a reasonable update about JJ, right? Like, that's the one thing. Yeah, last year when JJ missed December last year, it looked like they were unaware of what basketball was for a month. Here's Red. Here is Red to the podium. What's Red got to say today? 1-0. There's Red.
What really exemplified, our summer, what our summer looked like as far as defending and playing with energy, sharing the basketball, and just, playing for 40 minutes. And I thought our team did that tonight. Everyone that came in the game, they gassed out. They gave a tremendous effort. And it was fun for me to watch those guys compete like that. And so that's what we worked on, and that's how we will continue to build on that. But I was really excited for this group, excited to watch these guys compete, and it was fun watching these guys compete tonight.
Coach, first off, how's JJ doing? And then what does it say about your team to go out and dominate even without him?
JJ will be fine. The lower leg injury, I guess, but I'm sure he'll be fine. This team, you talk about depth, and I believe this team really does have depth. Anyone that can come in the court can contribute and make an impact. So, when JJ went down, we just, went to the next man up. You hear that a lot, but that's what this team can do. As far as we miss one guy. We've had that in the summertime as well. The practices have stayed, the competitiveness has stayed. So, it's a good thing to have, the roster that we have.
Helpful when the next guy up is Cayenne Anthony. Looked to me like an ankle or a calf for JJ. It was kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job of getting people the ball, making passes. He finally calmed down. On offense, made a couple of shots. But when you have a point guard like him, you can give him the ball and let him run the offense. And I thought he did a really good job of that. And stayed with it. In the first half was a little choppy. I thought the second half he kind of found the rhythm of the game and started making the right plays.
With JJ out, Cayenne got a lot more time on the court tonight.
Like waters.
What were your thoughts on his
I thought Cayenne played really extremely well. It was, I thought especially on the defensive end, I thought he gave a lot of energy. I thought he moved. I thought he made the right rotations. So I was extremely proud of him tonight on that end. And then, I thought he gelled with the other group of guys when he was out there. But I was very pleased with Cayenne the way he, played on both sides of the ball tonight.
Coach, didn't see Donnie Freeman back on the court. Just what you can say about his play and his return.
It was good.
Donnie, to me, has come back, and he's so much better, so much stronger. He does a really good job of putting pressure on the rim, and he hasn't shot it well yet, but he has the ability to make those shots. To me, he's going to be one of the best young players in the country this year.
Coach, the scoring efficiency jumped crazy in the second half from 38% to 68%. What did you see as the biggest difference in your team's offensive sets from the first half to the second half?
Lots of
Well,
dunks.
I thought we got a chance in the second half to get some turnovers and get some easy transition points. And then, they played some zones, so I thought we made the right reads, and, we started attacking the basket. We stopped shooting from the outside so much and started really attacking the basket in the second half.
Adrian, they had 15 first-half turnovers today, and did you want it early in the game just to make an impression that you were going to guard them today?
It was just about playing our game. It wasn't about making an impression. We want to play for 40 minutes. We want to try to really make people work. That's the idea. Make people work with speed. With long, with athletic, we can switch. So that was kind of the idea. It wasn't really a game plan to say we can make them turn it over, but they turned it over. But I thought we made some good traps from a man-to-man, which. We've been working on that, and not as much, but they made a couple of good reads today. We're aggressive. We just want to be aggressive and disruptive. That's the only thing that we want to do.
Coach,
Sadiq, Donnie, and Kyle are so good at that.
How you want to play, how you want to play fast. Do you feel tonight was kind of the best exemplification of that we've seen so far with you?
Yes.
I think we've had some other teams that have had some good runs, but yeah, I thought the second half when the game kind of got up and down a little bit, but we made some stops. The reason why it got up and down is because we made some stops, and that's what we want to do. We don't want to, let them score. We want to get some stops to ignite our offense. So tonight was close to it. We still got some more work to do. It was close to it.
Hey, Coach, with all the good tonight, 4 for 21 from 3 and shooting about 28% counting the exhibition games from 3. What's your level of concern on the three-point shooting?
Not a lot. The way we're going to win is not how many threes we're going to make. That's not what this team is about. That's not what we talk about, right? We take good shots on offense, and that's it. We won't let our offense dictate if we win or not. That's not going to happen this year.
And that's the first time that's ever really happened with him.
What you saw in the summer, what did you see in the summer that really encouraged you about what you want to see throughout the season?
Just a group of guys. It was so competitive. It was times where, these guys just compete and get after it. It was, we played a lot, but the competitive and the physicality and the gym was at a high level. It was just always at a high level. And even in September when people started kind of coming in, those were some of the comments. Was it, beautiful basketball at times? No, but, it was competitive. It was intense. And we'll continue to do that.
Why do you think there was such a big difference from last week pace to tonight?
I don't know. I thought, again, I don't know. I was just worried about tonight and trying to get these guys ready and and prepared, and I couldn't answer that.
It's amazing how a 40-point win makes the head coach just a little more relaxed for these things, huh?
Will is an exceptional defender, athlete, but he has a little bit more to his game than people give him credit to. He's a really good passer. He can go off the bounce a little bit more. So again, he did what I thought he could do. So I don't know what everyone else's impressions was, but oh yeah, he was a little undersized, but he plays bigger than his size. How about that?
Coach, to have players like Cayenne and Tyler come off the bench who have double digits for you guys, how important is it to kind of develop that growth, especially, JJ's gonna be fine, but you have players.
Actual bench scoring.
It's huge. It's huge to be able to, people always talk about depth, right? But it's huge to be able to have guys that can come in off the bench and be a double-digit scorer and contribute. So where they can pick up from someone else, right? Like that's kind of the ideal, right? For every team is, when someone else is not doing well, you have enough people that can come in and impact the game. But it's huge to be able to have guys that come off the bench and give you some scoring punch.
Coach, the team looked extremely energetic today. What would you say that's a product of?
The work we've been doing since we got here. From the first day we got here, that's what I would give the credit to. That's how we practice. That's how we play every day.
A bunch of guys picked it up tonight when JJ was out, but what if anything changes when he's not on the court for that one? What if anything changes when JJ's not on
What
the
if
court?
anything changes?
Yeah, if anything.
I mean, again, you're talking about JJ, who's an all-conference, second team guy that can get downhill, that can defend. Obviously we played well after that, but he's a big part of what we plan on doing, and he probably would have helped our offense a little bit more because he was just starting to get going and getting into the lane. So, in transition, we get him the ball in transition. He's a guy that can get it up the court and make decisions, especially if we can get some steals. So he's a big part of what we do.
Coach, what can you say about Lavelle Sanders and the Bearcats, and now they're going to go on with their season, but what did you see from them, and what were you expect for them this season?
They scored
I thought
40
they were
fewer
tough.
points.
I know they were, a little undermanned. I know they had some injuries, but I told them after the game I like this team. I think they tough. They kept playing. They didn't look scared. I think he's going to have a really good year this year. They're a tough team. They kind of exemplify his personality and what he expects. So, I think they're going to be really good. The big guys really good. The guards. They didn't have their best day today, but I'm sure that they will. But I like their toughness. I like the way they played. I like their composure.
Red, you know that JJ's going to be fine. From what the trainers told you, is it a good sign that he was back on the bench and could come out and be a part of things?
It was a good sign. Yeah, it was a good sign for him to come back out. So, I'll know a little bit more. But if it was something serious, I would probably know by now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, there he goes. Adrian Red Autry. It's amazing what a 40-point win will do in the opener to make a press conference not sound like the sky is falling and everything is terrible and the world is ending. Just amazing how that happens. So good to see just Red, just not on edge. Happens when you win by 38. Again, if you'd like to join in here, you can hop on the link at the top of the chat, and we'll get you right on the show. Looks like we got somebody hanging on here for a moment, so we'll work to get them on with us here shortly. Get our first caller of the show in, but we'll get as many calls as we can here. Maybe hang out till 10-ish or so tonight after Syracuse blows out Binghamton by the final score of 85-74 tonight. Let's see. So somebody is here in the chat, but they've got their mic muted, so that doesn't really make it seem like they want to talk. Anthony, if you want to come on the show, you're going to have to unmute your mic, but I will keep an eye on it down there. But we can make that happen if you're intrigued of coming on the show. There's an Anthony, like right here. There's an Anthony, but he's mysteriously in the shadows, and his mic is muted, which makes it much harder to talk on the internet post-game shows. But if you'd like to join the show, link pinned top of the chat. Just hop on and don't have your mic muted, and maybe you can turn your camera on or not. That's dealer's choice. That's why we have this mysterious vision of this guy who's in witness protection. That stands in for our callers that don't like to show their face at this late hour of the evening. But somebody managed to get on here and typed in Anthony, but camera off, mic muted. So that's less going to get you on the air. But if anybody's out there that's willing to say words on the air, we'll do that. Besides that, we'll hang out here with the chat. Great crowd here on a Monday night. How about that? How about that here on a Monday night? You want me to eat a whole burrito on camera? I do like a burrito, Chris. I'm pro burrito. I'm currently lacking in burrito. I'm currently lacking in burrito. Yeah, good to see you too, Big Poppy. Glad to see you found your way over here. Satchel Sack is here as well. Good to see the whole crowd finding out. See, this is the place to be. Just you let all the other people, the stragglers that haven't found their way yet, let them know where to come hang out. Let them know where the cool kids are all over here, right? Or at least whatever our group is. Come hang out. Come hang out. But yeah, Satchel, like the last few years watching Syracuse basketball, man, oh man, it was like a hate watch experience, was it not? Taste of India on Manlius Center, Poppy, was that good? Oh, Mrs. Supercat, hello, Lucy Lou. Hi, I'm so glad that you're here with Mr. Supercat and joining us here for Postgame. Rita, I am glad you found us as well. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. We don't care. We enjoy general combat in the chat at points. So tell anybody you know. Don't start with 2003, Paul. I'm not mentally prepared for something like that at this point. But you look at what you had here tonight. They came out and they laid it to him a little bit. It's a very good sign for what they were able to do here to start the season, and very encouraging, I think, here at this point. Anthony's still just hiding there, so I don't know if he's going to be ready to go at any point, anytime soon here for a little word in the chat. But what'd I do? I thought I did something. That didn't do anything useful. Hang on. We can do a little bit of this. Can I? Don't worry about me here talking to myself, hitting copy and paste and getting the right things clicked in so we can get a caller on the air, and then wondering why it's not showing up on the screen where it should be showing up. This is all very peculiar. What is going on with this? Copy, copied, right click, properties, paste. Oh, why is this not showing up? What's going on here? Huh. Well, that's not what you're looking for. That's not what you're looking for at all. Why is that not working? Why is that not working? That should be working. That should be working in a way that it's not currently working. We don't like that. Because I got my guy Mike in Connecticut. I see him. He's sitting right there, ready to go on and join us. But if the buttons are not going to let him come on and join us for no good reason, then I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Let's try this for the 7th time. You can watch me work my way through the technology. Mike, hang on. Let's see, Mike. Did that do it? No. Maybe if we do this and we do this. Here, Mike. Hang on. Where's the button? Here, Mike. All right, Mike. I don't know. Your video's not here, but you're here and you're talking. That's good enough for us. What's going on, Mike?
Oh, sorry.
And you were singing. We enjoyed that also.
Yeah, I was just trying to do it. You look lonely, and after a weird day of whatever Fran Brown did earlier, which I'm still
just yeah, I don't know what that was at all, Mike, and it threw my whole afternoon off. Whatever that Fran presser was.
And then almost threw me off to not be complaining after a Syracuse basketball game, because they look pretty damn good tonight. I mean, they look pretty good. I mean, this team you just smell is going to be doing some serious streakiness in a bad way. It's begin the game, their defense was great, which is huge. And to Autry's credit, so he's talking in the post game. But they get lazy. They get lazy on offense and just start chucking up threes for no reason. They don't seem like that offensive identity that gets us frustrated is there. But when they start clicking, and George tonight was a guy that I think that really took it off. It's this team could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
This team could be really good. We may not see it against Houston. I bet you we've seen flashes. We might see it against Kansas, but this team, just you smell come January, February, and hopefully into March. This team's got a lot of good stuff. It really does. I mean, I disagree with Red. I'd like to know what you think. We got to shoot some threes, because you can't shoot some threes. We're going to see more of that 1-3-1 where we look kind of baffled, among other things.
Yeah.
But we just can't take stupid, lazy threes, which is what we've done. But curious what you think.
Yeah, I look at this game, and I know that, it's way too early to be talking about net rankings and whatnot and any of that stuff, but We found out the last few years, like blowouts in games like this matter when it comes to rankings like this, and Syracuse wasn't able to blow the doors off anybody for the last handful of seasons. So I think, Mike, just to show they are capable of taking somebody to the woodshed and doing this is a good sign. Now, if you can follow up, do it again to Delaware State on Saturday, does that mean you're going to beat, Kansas or Houston? I don't know. Those teams are really, really good, but at least I think gives us as Syracuse fans and observers, right, like you get hope when you turn on those games coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, and you get to see this front line. It'll be interesting to see with JJ, if JJ's going to be out for any period, if they move Kings to the 2, and then you get Sadiq, Kyle, and Freeman along the front line. Sadiq, man, he's a forward version of Deion Waiters. He is going to be alpha, and I do worry about the rebound against some physical teams. I don't know if you probably didn't because you're working right now. But to watch Arizona at the end, Arizona-Florida, where Arizona took down Florida, those teams are at a next level. They just the physicality
I saw one
that they play
highlight
with.
dunk of that Arizona
Yeah.
freshman where he was, I don't know what, I mean, he was like 9 feet up in the air. It was unbelievable.
I think he had 29 or 30, so it's good. But again, we're not in that tier yet. But this team could be a top 35-ish team, top 40, which if we can get there, then we could be looking at dancing. But it flashed a lot of potential tonight. I love that Red keeps stressing the D and was praising it. But we got to take better shot selection, and we can go through periods where you can just see us not being too smart. But anyway, great show. Still really trying to figure out the Fran Brown thing and what offense is. I mean, like, oh my God, like Greg Robinson entered the chat today at 11 a.m. today. So, but it's good to have this win to cleanse it. Nice work, Brian.
All right, thank you, Mike. Yes, I still that Fran presser earlier today. That really just blew up my morning. That got me going in ways that I could not. I still cannot quite understand, like what happened, why it happened, or how any of it might have happened to lead us to that point. I think we've located we've located Anthony. Hang on for just a second. We're gonna go to our guy Anthony here. Anthony, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in.
What's up, Brian? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your thoughts on the game? I got you.
Hold on, hold on. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Brian, listen.
Yep.
So what I'm thinking is first
Anthony's getting a call.
the defense was awesome, Brian. It was exceptional. I actually watched play against Mississippi State, and deja vu. If Syracuse plays defense like that, they're gonna have the game with Houston.
Yeah, because we know, Anthony, like nobody plays defense like Houston, right? Like they're year in, year out the best defense in the country. And I'm not saying Syracuse is to that level. I don't know about you, Anthony. And yeah, it's Binghamton. That's the best effort I've seen on defense by the Orange in years.
Oh, absolutely. It was tremendous. They really I think the full court pressure, for some reason, Red realizes that the full court pressure at the early in the game ignites the team. So you gotta start off with full court pressure. He did it. That ignites the defense, because that last game they were just playing lackadaisy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When they start off with full court pressure, it kind of gets them going. They don't have to do it the whole game, but just start off with just getting these guys ignited.
Yeah, I agree, Anthony. I think it got the tempo going, right? Then they got a couple of fast breaks. All of a sudden it's 10-0, and then you got to play with the lead the whole night.
Exactly. And I got hats off to the point guard George. He just stacked it. He stacked this. He did what he was supposed to do. He came in, no turnovers. He got a couple of 3-pointers. He played with poise.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. It took him a little bit to get the flow of the game, but once he did, I thought he had full control over the game. And man, after the last few years, especially last year, that was a sight for sore eyes, Anthony, to see a point guard play the game like that.
Exactly. But the biggest take that I got in this game was a difference from the last two exhibition games. Donnie Freeman played on the outside. He didn't play his game. He took a couple of 3-point shots. He was playing on the outside. This game, Autry must have gotten his butt, because he played on the inside, and that's where he belongs. He needs to play down low, and he gets those easy buckets down low. That's where he's got the height advantage. So I like the way that they made that transition. You know what I'm saying? Getting Donnie down low, getting those easy buckets.
Yeah, no, that was great, and he seems willing to do it, which I think is an absolute huge thing. He was 7 of 11, 20 points tonight. All right, Anthony, thanks so much for checking in. Awesome to see you there.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Anthony, we got him. We figured it out. We hit the buttons. If anybody else wants to join the chat tonight, you can. The link is pinned top of the chat as it always is. That is as easy to find as possible. Easy to find as possible. CJC is switching up his handle here mid-show. It's wild. Okay, so if anybody else would like to call in, we can do that. We also need to do our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. As Anthony had a lot going on there. I like it. Anthony was here. He was there. Anthony was plugged in, and all of his takes were spot on for what we actually saw there today. But if anybody else would like to hop on again, link is pinned top of the chat, and you are more than welcome to use it. But we should do our Wild Birds Unlimited. There we go. Big Air Player of the Game as we stare out into the darkness of night in the backyard. Yes, those are some lights hanging off of my deck. There are no birds at the Bird Find Metal Bird Feeder right now, though there were some Cardinals and sad-looking Blue Jays. They looked a little upset as how the World Series went, but there we are, our Wild Birds Unlimited backyard bird cam as we, a lot of good options tonight potentially for player of the game. Like Donnie had 20 and 6. They interviewed Cayenne Anthony on the way off the court after 15 points for Cayenne, played 28 minutes, probably more minutes than expected with the early exit of J.J. Starling tonight. I thought William Kyle had a great game, high leaping, dunks abound, 8 of 9 from the floor for 16 points. But I've landed here. Tyler Betsy had 10 points coming off the bench. I've landed on Nate George. Nathan George, the reigning leader in assists for the ACC, and making a strong bid in game one to go after that again. 14 points on 6 of 9 shooting, hit 2 of 4 threes, had 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 steals, and just 1 turnover. And did that in only 23 minutes. 14 points, 8 assists, 5 steals, 4 boards, 1 turnover, 23 minutes. Nate George was fantastic today. And, Nate George, not Jaquan Carlos. So that also helped out Nate's cause here tonight. But, man, it just felt like, he was orchestrating in a way that made sense here going forward. And he got guys involved. The ball just didn't feel stuck. It wasn't like moving all over the place, but it didn't feel stuck in the way that it has felt stuck for the last handful of years around here. So we're going to go with Nate George tonight, our first regular season Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. And, no late night birds. Can I run 24/7 bird cam? I mean, I could, but that would also then give you like a weird... That would also mean I would be allowing you to just look in my backyard 24/7, and... Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do that one, CJC. I mean, you who knows what you'd see in the backyard? We don't need any of that going public, or you could just see me just like raking. I'm just like, if we had it on the other day, you would have just seen me there with a leaf blower. Just yeah, Wild Birds Unlimited. We love our friends at Wild Birds Unlimited, but 24-hour cam, my guy Matt's gonna need to up his spend on that one. Like we enjoy what they've done for us so far, but 24-hour cam, especially since it's pointed directly at my backyard, is aggressive. You should buy it from the Wild Birds Unlimited in Fayetteville or in Camillus, CJC. That's should I tell him you sent me? Or should you tell him I sent you? Absolutely, you should. Tell him 100%. Tell him twice. Tell Matt, leave the store, come back in and tell him again. Yeah. What is the show's normal schedule? Well, Big Poppy, I refer you to the schedule I release on the social medias every Monday morning. Here's the schedule this week. We are doing Fran Brown's weekly press conferences live Mondays at 1 o'clock. We are doing basketball and football postgame shows live after the games happen. Myself, Poppy, and a fellow that you will also know by the name of Jordan Capozzi do a show Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock called Transfer Portal Syracuse, TPS. And we will be doing that 8 o'clock Wednesday this week. It moves to Thursday if there are Wednesday basketball games, but don't believe there's any in the near future. And yeah, that's what we got for now, and then we'll see what we add or subtract or whatnot going forward. But that is the general schedule, Poppy. We are here post game. We got Jordan on Wednesdays. We hang out for Fran on Mondays. So a lot of you guys were with me for Fran earlier today. I still have not really recovered from that. What's up, George in Memphis? I drilled Donnie. I had him at 22. He ended up with 20 points tonight. So I did that pretty well. Yes, LA Orange. We're Jordan and I are having a good time. We try to. It's Jordan. We all know Jordan. We're trying to bring a little bit of the wacky. Jordan's at the Dome right now, or on his way home, right now. So he'll give us a little, on the ground accounts from what's going on in the building, which is good to have, and it's just always good to catch up with Jordan and job it up a little bit. So we do that on Wednesdays, and then. If we find some more exciting sponsors for these shenanigans, then we can add some more content. Plus Poppy and all that are involved. There's plenty of content on all the social medias all week long. And Poppy, I'm glad you found us. Before you go, Poppy, and I'm sure you've already done this, but do click the subscribe button. It's a key button. That's huge to everything we got going on, that subscribe button. When you see people saying this in like every stream of all time, it actually does matter, the clicking the subscribe button. And then I just personally recommend turning on the notifications, because then you won't have to remember all that stuff I told you. It'll just on your phone. You'll be like, oh, look, the show's on. Then you'll hit the button and it'll be right there. So that's kind of fantastic too. Well, MD, I did no wrong answers for the season. Before the game tonight. I did it this morning and released it this afternoon. I predicted 19-12 for the season. And I was wondering if I was being too optimistic looking at the schedule. Now, after I watched one game and it was Binghamton, I feel solid about that maybe being a floor for the year. I think they're, what I saw tonight kind of equaled what I had been hearing and thinking and seeing throughout the offseason going back to when the portal opened. That they had a way more athletic team. That they had, a lot of shot blocky type people. That they actually had a real point guard. Kyan Anthony can shoot it. Like, Donnie Freeman's healthy. I mean, that is so evident how hurt he was all of last season now. That I said 19-12 before they blew the doors off Binghamton tonight. I think at minimum, they're going to be in the mix for the tournament this year. I think, and man, like last year was a chore to watch those games. Even the year before, like the last Judah year, like those were not necessarily fun basketball games to watch. It's been a while since it's been fun to watch Syracuse basketball. After tonight, I think there's a good chance that Syracuse basketball, for the first time in a while, can actually be enjoyable for all of us. Which thank goodness. Thank goodness. I don't know, George. I've not heard one way or another. I bet the answer to that is no, because they want to just boot people out of the building. That would be my guess. But I have not heard about that one way or another. I will effort some information on that, George, to see what we can do. That's probably enough of the bird cam where you can't actually see anything in the backyard at this time of night. Again, if you'd like to chime in, link pinned top of the chat, and you can hop on and join us here on the show, as we've done already today with a couple of our fine callers. Yeah, Scott, I think they actually have a bench this year. Like, they didn't have a bench last year. They didn't have a bench. Like, the pieces didn't fit last year. 2 years ago, the puzzle pieces didn't fit at all. Like, remember Justin Taylor? Remember his existence? He was playing power forward. Like this year, you have a point guard, and you have shooting guards, and you have wings, and you have big guys. Now, you don't have a 7-foot center, but it's 2025 in basketball. You don't necessarily need that. William Kyle is very, very bouncy. Sadiq White is very bouncy. Donnie Freeman is a willing participant inside on defense this year. I think you've got stuff. Now, if you run into a team that legitimately has a low-post center that can pound it, well, then you might have a problem. Do those teams exist? Who is that? I'm not worried about that. It's just not something that exists in high enough quantity to really be an issue anymore. Like, you got the 1 7-foot freshman on the bench that I presume is going to redshirt, and yeah, I'm not worried about it. And yeah, William Kyle had a weird year at UCLA last year. I'm not worried about it. The dude was a stud at South Dakota State. He athletically looks right. He can clearly play with the athletes in the ACC. Syracuse athletically looks right for the first time in a long time. They look right for the first time in a long time. Yeah, and man, like Eddie Lampkin, for as skilled as he was with the basketball in his hands last year, it just was the antithesis of everything Red wanted to do on the court. It was the opposite of everything Red wanted to do on the court. This is the first time now in 3 years that Red has a roster that matches the style of play he has told us from day one. That Friday afternoon when he had his first press conference after the weird Boeheim retirement, he told us exactly how he wanted to play. And then the first year you had Judah as your best player. You had to play a different style. Like, you had to do it. He was your best player. Last year, I think they rushed. They're like, we need a center. And then they got a guy, and he was the wrong guy. And they just didn't get the guys they needed out of the portal. This year, they hit the portal in a way that they got pieces that fit what Red wanted to do. And I think we saw it tonight. Yeah. I agree with the LA Orange. Like, it's Binghamton. And whatever. Binghamton had injury issues and whatever. They blew them out. There was a team they were supposed to blow out, and they blew them out. In the last 2 years, there were teams that Syracuse historically should have blown out, and they blew out 0 of them. Was there a blowout in the last 2 years? No. They won by 38. They won by 38. That's what teams that at least potentially can be good teams do. They take a game like this, and you win by 40. Yeah, and that's another good point, Scott. Like last year, if that needed to happen, if somebody needed to dribble and go to the hoop, there was one guy on the team that was capable of it, J.J. Starling. One. Tonight, that one guy got hurt in the first 4 minutes of the game and didn't return. And it did not affect them negatively. If they had opened with this Binghamton team last year, with last year's roster, and JJ had gotten hurt 4 minutes into the game, this is a game they won by 40 tonight, they would have lost the game. Or maybe hung on. Like, if JJ got hurt and couldn't play in that game, or he would have had to, like, claw his way back in and, like, gimp up and down the court or something. Like, they would have lost the game. Or it's certainly, like, would anybody be shocked if they lost the game in that scenario? If, like, they were playing and JJ got hurt and couldn't go? Not anybody here would be shocked if they lost that game. I wouldn't be. Don't mind me pounding cough drops here. But, and the defense here, like, here's the other thing that would have happened last year. All right, the team was slow finding its way offensively in this game, right? They started 0 for whatever it was from 3. The game was 14-4 for a while. Last year, the defense wouldn't have been there, and Syracuse would have been down like 20-14 instead of up 14-4. So then they would have had to find their rhythm coming from behind. Today, they were up 10, they're up 10, they're up 10. Then when they finally found it, now it goes from 10 to 30, as opposed to, we got to get back in the game. Yeah, and they actually tried. Yeah, what was the distribution of minutes tonight? And again, grain of salt because you only got the 3 minutes in the game from Starling. But let's see, nobody played 30 tonight. So Starling out. Kyan Anthony actually played the most minutes tonight. He had 28. 25 minutes for Donnie, 25 for Nate Kings, which he was pretty quiet tonight. 24 for Kyle, 23 for George, 19 minutes for Sadiq, 15 minutes each for Tyler Betsy and Luke Fennell, 10 minutes for Soiree, 11 minutes for Bryce Zephyr off the bench. Again, it's Binghamton. I'd feel his minutes will dry up, but Red likes him as a defender. And, Red's going to play you if you can guard. Like, Zephyr didn't attempt to bucket or even think about it. So, yeah, they went 11 deep tonight, but it was basically 10 because Starling didn't play, save for the first 3 minutes. He got 5 in double figures. And, even though Donnie got 20, it didn't feel like at really any point of the game that they're like, oh, we got to lean on this guy now to do it. It's Binghamton. Last year in this game, it's like a 5-point game. And tonight they won by 38. Last year in this game, if J.J. Starling got hurt like he did tonight and couldn't go, and you had last year's roster in this game, you're hanging on for dear life. You're hanging on for dear life. Like, how much is Fennell going to stay in the rotation going forward? I'm just assuming JJ's going to be okay. I thought he might have tweaked his calf. I don't know. We'll see. And again, here's the other thing. Last year when JJ got hurt, when he broke the hand and he missed a month, the season imploded. Like, it wasn't going well. It imploded. Oh, Fennell with a mustache on top of it would be so good. This year, all right, say JJ's feeling 80% on Saturday. Whatever. You can sit him. Like, whatever. You can sit him. You're fine. Now you'd like him to play some games before Houston and all that. They got Monmouth coming up next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. God help us. You can sit him the next 2 games. Golf button. And then guess who starts? Carmelo Anthony's kid. Okay. We don't got that. Who do we got? Oh, we got Carmelo Anthony's kid. We're good. We're good. So, yeah, and this is not to poo-poo JJ, but, like, he doesn't have to be the guy. Like, last year was all on him, and then once Donnie got hurt, he was the only guy left. Like, yeah, I couldn't tell if it was the hammy or the calf. Like, initially you thought it was a cramp the way they were stretching him out, Mark. I don't know. My doctor degree tells me it was a muscle thing, but I'm not entirely certain. I'd say the good news is Red didn't seem remotely concerned about it post-game, which hopefully is a good sign. Which means I guess nobody came running to tell him, oh, God, everything's gone horribly wrong. Okay. Anything else as we've sailed past 10 o'clock? Last chance for a call tonight if you'd like to chime in. Link pin tab of the bio. And, yeah, so, again, it's Binghamton. And this is so interesting, right? Because in years gone by, like, there was however many years in a row where the season would start with games like this, and you just wouldn't think about it, right? Because it's what happened every year. And you'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. And you just zone out and, move through it. This year, because the Orange have not actually blown somebody out, an inferior opponent out like this, to start a year in a long time, this actually feels like, oh, okay. Now, doesn't mean they can play with Duke or Houston or Kansas. I don't know. But I feel a lot better about things certainly than after the 2 exhibition games. I watched those games. It's like, what are we looking at here? Like pace, it looked like the team was barely awake. But tonight they came out. It looked like, they gave a crap. They played like they gave a crap. And they played solid basketball, and you win by 40 or 38 or whatever it is. So that makes me feel good about tonight. All right, Chad. We've blown past 10 o'clock. Anything else as we work our way toward the end this season? Yeah, you suspect SU will be better than Binghamton. I also agree with you, George, on that one. I feel solid that you will be correct on that in the long term this year, that Syracuse will have a better season than Binghamton. Though that Lilly dude, he was pretty good. 17 points, 13 rebounds. That dude's going to be a load in the America East. Like, that dude's going to be a problem in the American East. I don't know. Binghamton has a squad around him. It sounds like they got a ton of injuries, but that dude can play some ball in the American East. He'll be a good player. But, yeah, like, Syracuse went out and they played in a way that didn't make us angry watching Syracuse basketball. And, my goodness, I don't know if I could say anything nicer than that at this point, that it was really nice to not have to hate watch a Syracuse basketball game. That makes you feel good. All right, everybody, we've had ourselves a day from just an absolutely bizarre press conference from Fran Brand earlier today. If you missed that, you can go watch it back. You're in the right spot. It's like literally going to be the next video over. You can go click on that. Shows coming up later this week. Myself and Jordan, our TPS report will be coming your way 8 o'clock on Wednesday night this week. After a couple weeks on Thursday, we're back to our regularly scheduled time of Wednesday, 8 o'clock this week. And then on Saturday, I don't know what the hell we're going to do on Saturday. We got basketball at 1. We got football at 3:30. So we'll do a basketball post-game show either up until kickoff or I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then we'll hear from Red. We'll do something. And then we'll probably all be in a great mood by 7 o'clock after football gets wiped off the face of the planet at Miami. And we could come back after and talk about that. So there is all that. And, yeah, check out the socials. Subscribe before you go. Get some sleep, everybody. Have a good night. We'll talk to you again as the week goes along.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.